Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you this morning for coming, and I want at the outset to thank those of you who have been recommended for the appointment to the committee, for accepting the recommendation and the appointment. It is one of those steps which we have been working towards over the last 2.5 years. And the new permanent secretary in the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and the Labor Commissioner and staff at the Ministry of Labor have been very insistent in their discussions with the other social partners that we get this matter on the road so that we do not continue to, as it were, spin our wheels, as seems to have been the position over the past 9 or more years. So today's ceremony is a very important ceremony, and it formalizes and puts into operation the National Tripartite Committee, which is provided for under the Protection of Employment Amendment Act number 12 of 2013. And this 12-member committee will have a very important role to play from the outset of your establishment. In the last 2 years, we have had meetings, we have discussed what needed to be done, and earlier this year, we have sat down and we have looked at, again, putting into proper perspective the work to be accomplished. We have, in fact, Mr. Chair and Your Excellency, set about to put in place a schedule, a timeline over which we would like to see the work accomplished. And I think this is important for us because it makes, in my opinion, Your Excellency, no good sense to work without having deadlines or schedules by which to accomplish certain tasks. And that, for me, is of paramount importance because we in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have to get to the point where we see our country or move our country to a point where internationally we become recognized as a country which is serious about labor relations and all of the other matters which attend to that aspect of our existence. You've heard, Your Excellency, of the need for having workplaces with serious or considerable health, safety matters. You've heard of the need for training. You've heard of the need for ongoing collaboration. And these are all important matters in respect, and also in respect of what other aspects which govern the relations between employers and employees. Decent work, reasonable wages, and things like that which are critical to having a labor code or inner labor code to guide the process. The government, through the Ministry of Labor, bears considerable responsibility for social policy in respect of the labor force in our country. The Constitution, which guides the operation of this country, guarantees the fundamental rights of all those in the world of work. And the government, through the establishment of proper legislation in collaboration with our social partners, has to ensure that those laws, those regulations give the type of guidance which will ensure that St. Kitts and Nevis becomes a guiding light in the international marketplace. The Tripartite Committee, you've heard the description of what its duties will entail, is therefore fundamental to the accomplishment of these goals. And our effort to ensure that we have the mutual understanding, the good relations between the public authorities, that's the government, employers and workers' organizations, towards improving the conditions of work and raising the standard of living in St. Kitts and Nevis must not be taken and will not be taken lightly. The Tripartite Committee, you as members, will have a strategic and positive role to promote and sustain the development of our labor market. We are looking certainly at having a greater understanding among ourselves that the investment which takes place to increase employment is considered. And I think the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, sometime later this year, will be speaking with you directly to get a feel of where you are in respect of your projections, in respect of ongoing investment, ongoing plans for the increase in employment, and so on. Because it is important not just to react, but to have a positive approach towards future development. And that future development to which the government commits itself to provide assistance, to provide concessions and things like this, to ensure that investments continue to be made, is critical to the goals which we have established as a government. We intend, once we have gotten the draft of the new labor code, which the Tripartite Committee is charged to bring to a position so that we can go to the public for further consultation. I am looking forward to that before the end of this year, and I do not think it is impossible. It may be challenging, but I think challenges are meant to be taken up and to be overcome where it is necessary to do so. The committee, as it has a task of collaborating with government on employment and labor market issues. And while we recognize that in the past we've had conflicts, we are expecting that through this objective of getting a new labor code, which will fuse all of the 23 pieces of legislation which now govern the existence of the labor relations in St. Kitts and Nevis, that at the end of it, we will have a basis on which to promote more harmony in the workplace. The Federation has perhaps an unenviable position of being very low on the totem pole of doing business. We have also a not so glorious record of being perhaps a little low on the productivity side. And it means that for us to increase productivity, for us to improve our standing as a country which supports doing business and to facilitate doing business for investment and other purposes, that we have our work cut out for us. And I believe that this effort we are making today by having this Tripartite Committee established to formalize the labor code will go a long way to making that possible. So those are some of the challenges we have. And we, Your Excellency, we want to assure you that we will take those challenges and our duties seriously. Finally, I want to encourage the members of the committee to bring your experiences, your considerable experiences from whichever organization you will come, to make sure that we generate the ideas which will make this labor code, which we intend to have on track to guide the labor relations in our country, one of the best, if not the best, in the region. It is therefore my pleasure and my privilege to say to you, thank you for accepting again and to wish you well, and I will be always available whenever you call on me to be part of any meeting or to have any views expressed which would enhance the establishment of the school. I want to thank you, Your Excellency, thank you, members, and I pray that God will guide us in our discussions to make sure we get and expedite this mission for the benefit of our country. God bless you and thank you so much.
Stay up to date with news, programs, and activities of the government with SKNIS. Like us on Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter. And watch our videos on YouTube. Connect with us today. SKNIS, St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service.